All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, brothers and sisters over at Patreon. Let me title this video right here, Take Away the Excuse. Take away the excuse. Listen to me. I've learned over the years, and I'm speaking to you from wisdom. I'm speaking to you from wisdom, knowledge, comprehension, and understanding. I've learned over the years that if you're a strong leader, and you lead by example, I mean you lead from the front, and you take away the excuse, take away the murmuring, take away the complaining, take away the excuse making, take away the reason and cause for sin. If you just take all that away, I've learned over the years that people literally, truly are not designed, or neither do they want to be designed or transformed to actually meet a high standard or expectation. Usually you have a very, very few people that sees a strong leader, a strong individual, sees a lot of good qualities and a lot of good traits, and only a very few people have the ambition, the drive, the self-determination, the intestinal fortitude, what it takes to dig down deep and say, you know what? That one right there, I want to be like him. Now, when you're saying you want to be like him, you're your own individual man. You're your own individual woman. What you're saying is I see qualities. I see traits. I see things in this particular man or woman that I want in my life. And the only way that I'm going to be able to obtain them is to have the same ambition, the same drive, the same vision, the same self-determination as they do. And so I'm going to watch them. I'm going to mimic and take all the good attributes I can. And hopefully when I become their age, I'll be wiser than they are. I'm going to tell you right now, I remember when we first started this community, and you have to understand, we're talking about a young PastorDowell. Man, I worked people so much. I did. And I was out there leading from the front. I'm not sitting up here behind the desk, barking out orders, telling everybody else what they would do. If they was out there from sun up to sundown, I was out there from sun up to sundown. Now, over the years, things are starting to change, because not that I can't get out there and work sun up to sundown. It's just that who else going to go visit the sick? Who else going to go lay hands on the people that are necessary? Who else is going to deal with all this marriage counsel and all these other things that when you get finished doing 2 or 3 things at one time in a day, it's done pretty much eating up your day. Who else going to do the planning? Who else going to do the community building? Who else going to take the counseling from the heads of communities and the heads of fellowship to give them some direction to do? I mean, who else is going to logistically figure out all this stuff? Who else is going to plan for the future? Who else? See, all that is in lieu of actual building in itself. But I've learned over the years that when you take away people's excuse, all they have left is themselves. And when all that they have left is themselves, they come at a crossroads. You got one or two things to do. You can either change, which is probably the most hardest thing in the world to do, and get with the program and continue to keep growing in grace and growing in knowledge, or you can stay the same way you are, be in the same place you've always been, and never ever improve, and just go through life mediocre. We should be tired of mediocrity. We should be. And when you pay attention to the noise out there on the internet concerning PastorDowell, what everybody pretty much does is go off of some other person's false testimony and false witness about me that don't even know me, never lived around me. They're all false witnesses, every one of them. But it's a slander fest just going on, literally. And watch this. You take people like Richardson Kelly. You take people like this little fat watchman, whoever. He ain't no watcher. He should be watching himself. You take and look at these people's character. You look at them as individuals, and you ask yourself this question: what about them that you could glean from their livelihood and their lifestyle that would cause you to want to be somewhat like them, or to cause you to want to follow them? There's no strength. There's no honor. And I'm telling you, And that's the reason why I say over and over and over again. You see, I'm a man, 100% bona fide cut man. Are you following me? And I'm also, people think, women, they don't know me, but think about this for a second. I got 3 of Shies. And you can tell pretty much the type of home that I run. Look at my Shies. Do they seem oppressed and depressed? Wake up for a second. But that's why I said a long time ago that only a man can listen to a man and follow a man. Really. Follow me as I follow Christ. Think about this. That's not taking nothing away from the individual person as a man. That's not taking anything from him. But listen to what I'm saying here for a second. If you find a man that is great in your eyes, and if you learn from him, would you not have the opportunity and chance with years to come to be even greater? See, I don't fool veterans. And when I say veterans, I'm talking about there's a difference between regular Army veterans and special skill veterans. I promise you there is. I don't fool professionals. I don't fool people who has a life of discipline at all. You know why? Because they know there's strong leadership. There's anyway, I can digress to so many things. But some men, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to say the majority of men today, they are literally, truly content in being mediocre. Can't take the heat, so they get out of the kitchen. Can't take the community, so they leave. Can't take anything because they refuse to transform and change themselves for who they are. And ultimately, the family is going to suffer for many people's males' personal choices and decisions. Y'all listen to me. I keep trying my best to tell women over and over again. That's the reason why a lot of men, if they're listening to Pastor Dowell, and if they got some nefarious ways deep down inside of them, they're not going to disclose everything that there is. They don't even want to talk to them about the ministry because what they want to do is they want to get women, saddle up with them prior to coming to the ministry, then come to the ministry and say, these are my wives, when they haven't even done things righteously, justly, and honorably. Man, I tell you, what a sick generation we live in. I actually feel sorry for some of you daughters of Zion who really truly want to be good women. I really truly feel sorry for you. I do. You may actually want to really truly be careful about your choices and decisions going forth in life, because you only have one life. You better make sure, some way, somehow, all that you can, that you've done your due diligence. Make sure you're moral and you're ethical and you're honorable. So that in itself will rub off on somebody else. But I'll finish with this. Like I said, you pay attention to all these slanderers out there. They have nothing to offer you concerning spirituality, growth, substance, security, life in itself. These people are ultimately, every one of them are all selfish. And Pastor Dowell, through the word, is disturbing their selfish, effeminate apple cart.